Hey folks, how we doing today? This is Bill, once again with the Nintendo Super Power Club Challenge channel. Today we've got card number 67 in the collection, and that is Final Fantasy Adventure on the Game Boy. Some of you may know it as Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. So this game obviously goes by a similar title on the Super NES, and if you played that iteration of the series, then you already know it has nothing to do with the actual canon version. It's a spin-off, and it plays much closer to The Legend of Zelda on the NES than it does to a traditional Final Fantasy game. Although it does have elements of RPG games with action, adventure, and the traditional stat building that you'll see in other kinds of RPG games. Very fun, the story is very good for its time. Recommend anybody who likes these kinds of games picks it up and give it a shot. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into this one and see what we've got to do today. Alrighty, and with this particular challenge, it states how far can we get without getting hit. On the pro level, we are trying to get to a place called Kett's house, or you may know it as Kett's mansion if you're familiar with this game. Alright, so I thought we were done with these challenges, but my favorite challenge has made a return, and that's right, it is the Pacifist challenge! It has made its return! So, we gotta get through this without taking a hit, and obviously, these are fun because you have to go around sneaking around very, very carefully without taking damage, and you can kill enemies if you wish, but it's a lot quicker to just sneak around them when possible. There are occasions where you have to be very tricky with screen scrolling, and we're going to show you how that works as we get into this game. Very fun and very difficult, worthy of the Pro Challenge, I believe. And with that being said, here we go. Okay, so like any Final Fantasy game, you get a chance to enter a name here, so obviously you know who I am. And just because I'm not very creative, we're going to go with Jill, Bill and Jill. Alright, so the game starts out, you're in this castle dungeon here, and the story says that you start off because you have to fight a whole bunch of monsters just for the entertainment of the Dark Lord, so that's what we're going to do. For these first monsters here, they just move in a W-shaped pattern, so really all you have to do if you want to play it safe is just stay in the same spot and keep swinging the sword. Eventually he will go down. The big thing to keep in mind is that those cat monsters have 8 hit points, so be very careful. By the time you get to 7, that 8th hit point will cause the monster to explode, and you need to move out of the way as quickly as possible, or you will take a hit, and that will be the end of the challenge right there. So obviously don't do that. Count very carefully. So as we continue on with this cutscene here, I'll try to fill in the void for you so you don't have to just stare at stuff with no action. Basically what you're doing here is you're going to be seeing your little friend here die because he was involved in a battle when he suffered some mortal wounds. And you're going to be charged with escaping the castle now, and that's what you're going to see with this end of the cutscene here, and that's going to lead you to another battle with another wild, vicious cat moving in a W-shaped pattern. So basically, in case you didn't learn how to play this game the first time, you're going to get a second shot at it, and hopefully you'll do a little bit better. I mean, you can kill him even faster. So there we go, we just lost Willie, he passed away. We're going to go ahead and leave through the top. And you're going to have 2 NPCs here. Don't bother talking to them. That's not necessary. Just leave this room. Go up the steps right about here. And then you're going to go up here over to the left. And you'll be back out in the arena where you have to fight one more of these big ugly cats. Alright, here we are with another one of these ugly cat monsters. Once again, it moves in a W-shaped pattern. And once again, it has 8 hit points. So count very carefully. Get 7 hits. When it comes time for that 8th hit, be very careful to get out of the way so you don't take a hit from the explosion and then go out the door. You're going to be coming down this wall automatically. When you get the chance, go off to the left and you will encounter the Dark Lord and his compadre Julius. You get a little cutscene here, which we're just going to bypass because we don't really care about it and it bogs the video down. So we're going to jump back in when we get to the next action sequence. Alright, and we awake after falling down a massive waterfall 4 screens deep, and we're going to be heading off to the right here. So I talked early on about having to manipulate screens here, going back and forth. You're going to see that quite a bit here. So we have a couple different enemy types you're going to take note of here. The first one is a Goomba mushroom-like looking enemy. He has no projectiles whatsoever. He's very simple to take out. Don't feel threatened by him. If you see him, take him out with ease. The other one, which is the black cat dog looking thing, that can throw a projectile, so be very wary of those. If you see one and he is in your direct line of where you have to go, I would probably look at double backing and follow the path I just laid out, and we have to kill a couple Goombas here, as I'm going to refer to them. And then we have to look at another friend, which looks like has just passed away, named Hasim. And he's telling us what we have to do. Basically, at this point, we have to go find somebody named Boguard, who is going to help us advance to the next part of this level where we have to go to complete it. Remember, we have to get to Kett's house or Kett's mansion without taking a hit. So far, so good. Alright, and we have found this lady here, and guess who she is? Well, we're going to find out right now. Obviously, we know who I am. I am Bill. Well, I am Jill. Alright, so we're going to head off to the right, and let's see what we get. Two of those ugly dog-cat looking things. Thankfully, they weren't in our way. We can walk right past. And we're getting some good luck with the RNG. Oh, not this time. Probably look at double backing a little bit. And got one. You're going to see a lot of that here, and we can kill these guys pretty easy. So we'll head off to the left. We're going to have a bridge area. Be very cautious of what pops up. Alright, now you're going to see some very odd-looking enemies here, like some flopping whales and some flying bats. Those are much more difficult to take out, but you will be fighting them very soon. Go across this bridge over to the left, and then here is where it gets a little bit tough, because their patterns can become quite much less predictable than the ones you've already faced. So you're going to keep heading over to the left, go up, and then up this beanstalk vine here, so to speak. You're going to keep going up. This is a tricky section. Sometimes you have to double back out of here quite a few times to get a enemy spawn pattern that you're going to like. We got very fortunate here. I don't even bother killing those flying bat things because they have a lot of hit points and their patterns are very unpredictable. Alright, here we are. We've made it to Boguard's house off of the waterfall. You're going to go up to him and talk to him 3 times, and he's going to let you into this back area with a weapon item type called the Matic, or the Mattock, I guess is how you pronounce it, which is basically a hammer or a pickaxe, and that's going to allow you to destroy some rocks that are in the way in a cave you're going to go into. And without this item, you will not be able to progress past it. So this is a cutscene that unfortunately is mandatory. You do have to suffer through it in order to advance with the game. So we're going to go ahead and do just that. If you want to read through the story, feel free. And once he's done talking and huffing and puffing, we're going to go through this north wall, and we're going to get the mattock or the pickaxe, and that will allow us to continue with the next part of the game here. And he says go to the east side. That's exactly where we're going to go. And is he done talking? Yes, finally. Alright, treasure chest. Mattock. Pickaxe. Alright, now we're going to leave, and we're going to go back the same way that we came, all the way down these vines. Head back over to the right. Now, you may have a pretty bad spawn pattern here. You may need to look at double backing. Thankfully, we only had to do it once there. We're getting pretty lucky here. Sometimes this can be pretty bad. You can have 3 or 4 or 5 different enemy types in very bad areas. Alright, and we're going to hope and pray. Thankfully, we got very lucky in that section. Sometimes that can take quite a few minutes to get through. Alright, this can be a very bad section too. Sometimes you're going to double back out of here. In some cases, it was 10 times for me once in one of these runs, and it still didn't go out very well. Alright, those flopping whale, ugly-looking Kirby things are not too tough to take out as long as you get them when they're stationary and not moving around. Alright, now you're going to go over to the right, and again, we're getting very lucky with the RNG and the spawn patterns here. Alright, now we got to level up. I know we got a lot of things coming here. If you get a chance to level up, go with the power, not anything else. The power will allow you to hit things a lot harder and hopefully kill things faster. So if you're going to do that, go with the power. Alright, here we are in the cave. We've got these rocks in front of us. We're going to go into our items. We're going to select the mattock. Looks like we have 7 of them. And then we're going to back out of there. And unfortunately, I'm having a tough time actually picking the item because I don't know the controls, which is pretty sad, unfortunately. So go in there, go into the items, pick the mattock, and then back out of there. And I think what actually happened here was when I was going through, my B button was sticking, or one of the buttons was sticking, because I know what button you have to press to go through here. Alright, there we go. We finally get rid of these things. When you go into this screen, be very careful and be ready to back out of there very, very fast, because you can have some bad spawn patterns here. You can have 2 or 3 of those flying bats that can ruin your run instantly, so be very careful there. You may have to back out quite a few times. And these spawn patterns are just not very good right now, so double backing out quite a few times. Alright, here's a good pattern. Hopefully, we're going to try to take out this little Kirby whale. And if that bat will move, nope, not going to. Alright, we're going to take our chances, we get through. and the exit is going to be on the bottom right. Thankfully, the enemies are on the left. We come out of the cave. We're going to head over to the right now. You probably recognize this area. You may have seen it before. Getting lucky with spawn patterns here. Now, you want to be careful with those bats. They actually can fire projectiles if you stand in their line of sight long enough, so don't dilly-dally. Gonna keep heading over to the right, and now we get some more favorable enemies here with the Goomba Shroombas, I guess, and the cat dogs. Alright, here's a good pattern, I hope. Maybe this thing will get out of the way. Nope, he's not gonna play ball. Nope, definitely not doing that pattern. You can see how kind of ugly and nasty it gets. You gotta have a lot of patience if you're gonna do this challenge here. You gotta really, really be patient. Don't try to speed through things. There's no time limit on this. Take your time. Alright, now here's a house. You don't have to go in there. It's an item shop. If you can afford to buy things with gold, feel free. You are able to buy some very nice items and weapons. Unfortunately, we don't have 150 GP for that battle axe. Not really necessary, though. You can kill most of these enemies with only a couple swings, so it's not really required. Now, they talk about a swamp. We're going to have some even tougher enemies coming up here. We're not going to bother killing them, and oh lord, look at how many enemies are spawning outside that item shop. Okay, so we're off and running again, going across this bridge into the swamp area, and now you're going to see we have some different enemy types here. A lot of plants, and I guess that's a jellyfish or an octopus. I'm not really sure what that is. The spawn patterns, again, can be very unfavorable because you got some very tight, narrow passageways to work through. So definitely, again, if it doesn't look good, no time limit, don't feel like you have to run through it. Back out if you need to. And this thing is chasing me down. It doesn't matter, by the way, if the enemies actually get to Jill because she cannot be hurt or killed. We don't really care about that right now. We're going to head down south and then over to the left once the spawn pattern is favorable. We have some zombie-looking creatures here. We don't want to get hit by those, obviously. Only one enemy. Just keep heading over to the left. And only one more screen, and then we're going to have Kett's house, Kett's mansion right over here. And check that out. That was a bit treacherous, but we did make it all the way to Kett's mansion, and that is the Pro Challenge, number 67 in the books. Final Fantasy Adventure, a very good game, very underrated. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, we much appreciate you viewing it. Take care. We will see you in the next one.